Welcome to our May Board of Education meeting. We're so excited to have people in our auditorium. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Here.
Jimmy Shea.
Here.
John Green.
Here.
Scott Latham.
Here.
Brian Tobin.
Here.
In the event of an emergency, visitors are advised that they may exit this room from the one side door which leads directly into the parking lot. In the event of an emergency, everyone is asked to move away from the building and do not attempt to leave in your automobiles, since this may cause traffic problems and block incoming emergency vehicles.
Thank you. Our first item is our first hearing of visitors. At this time, we request that questions and comments be kept to agenda items only. Would anyone care to address the board at the first hearing of visitors? Everybody wants to get to the good stuff. Good. That brings us to our consent agenda, which is the approval of our minutes of our regular meeting of April 21st, the budget meeting of May 5th, and the special meeting of May 18th. It includes our financial matters, which are our bills, our treasurer's report, our monthly budget status report, transfers, extra classroom activities funds, and we have some donations. Nadia Sandoval, a former student, is going to organize a tree planting on the school grounds in memory of Marietta Silvestri, who was a retired SHS teacher who recently passed away. She's going to do this on a Saturday with her classmates. Can we find out when that is, when that's scheduled? Because I would certainly like to attend. And Mrs. Kathy Busey has donated 99 reams of multicolored copy paper for use at the elementary school. We're surplusing a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to read it all through. It does include a school bus, some copier machines, and some fax machines, and it also includes our CSEs. Are there any comments or questions about the consent agenda? Is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That brings us to old business, which we have none, right? So that brings us to the superintendent's report, Dr. Morrow.
So, first I just want to thank and express gratitude to our community. At our board vote last week, we had 81% of the people that came out and voted in favor of the budget, which is really, it's a wonderful statement by a community about how comfortable and confident they are in the people that their kids come to and work with every day, or their kids came to and have graduated from or off into the world. So a big thank you to that, to everybody for that. And now we're going to get to the reason that most of you are here today. I'm going to introduce our elementary principal, Ms. Ellen O'Neill, who's going to bring up some students, and they're going to talk with us a little bit about their experiences this year throughout the year of COVID, and then Mr. Rush will be coming up and doing the same with some of our high school students. So it's all yours.
Okay, good evening, everybody. So we have 6 students from the elementary school. I'll introduce them all first. We have Brady Earl is a 2nd grader in Mrs. Hilari's class. Brooklyn Perino is a 3rd grader in Mrs. Bonaiuto and Mr. Riddell's 3rd grade class, and then our 6th graders have all of the teachers. So we have Emmett Tramontana, Clint Cornell, Matt Bokina, and Emily Manwaring. So we're going to have the Brady and Brooklyn come up first. And so what we did was we talked about some questions just to get their brains going about the year. And so the questions were, what do you like most about learning this year at Southold Elementary? What was really hard about learning this year? What do you feel you missed out on because of the pandemic? What are you most proud of? And after the pandemic, what do you hope that we will continue to do that we started to do this year? So I'll hold it for you so you don't have to worry about it, okay?
So are we doing the first question?
Sure, go ahead.
I like to see our friends more often, but unlike we did in distance learning.
Okay. Something was hard this year?
Masks, because it's really hard to run in gym and you get really sweaty. I missed out on field trips, beach day, and field day.
Well, this year or last year?
Last year.
Last year, right? Because this year we're going to have some beach days and field day and picnics. Okay, good.
I'm proud that we still get to learn at SES in person. And then after the pandemic, I hope we keep doing Google Classroom and going outside a lot still.
Thank you very much, Brooklyn. Okay, Mr. Brady. So what's something that you liked or some things you loved about learning at SES this year?
We got to go outside more often.
What was so great about going outside? You like running around?
Me and my friends, we like to run around a lot.
Absolutely. And what has been hard this year at SES?
And the shields. It's if somebody's sitting in the back row, they can't see. If you're watching a movie, they can't see good.
They can't see well because of the shields get in the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so the shields get in the way. A little glare too sometimes from the windows? Okay. And you said something else you thought was hard. For a little bit you were on distance learning, right, for a little bit? So we want to talk about that during this winter? So do you want me to share? A little bit to remind you how you said it was difficult being on distance learning in the winter. You missed being with your friends?
Yeah, I miss being with my friends, and there's a lot of different people I didn't know.
In your distance learning classroom, right?
Yeah.
So that was hard. Okay. What do you feel, is there anything you feel you missed out on this year?
During distance learning, I feel like I missed out on crafts and class projects.
Okay. And what are you most proud of this year?
We got to go outside more.
Got to go outside. Well, that's a big one.
We got to go outside
That's
more.
a big one with all the kids. And then after the next year, and when this is all done, hopefully next year, what do you hope we still continue to do at SCS after this is all over?
Keep Flipgrid and Google Classroom.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Brady. Okay. And then the sixth graders, do you want to come up one at a time? Why don't you come up together, but you can talk one at a time? And I'll sort of let you take the lead, okay? But I'll sit here if you need me to remind you. Go ahead, Emmett, you start.
For what we enjoyed about the school year, I know I definitely enjoyed our rocketry unit, which was math, science, engineering, and social studies. We worked on our model rockets, which we launched off in the soccer field over to the left of the track. We learned about our teams, we were divided into different countries, and we learned about that for social studies. And in science, we learned about the forces that propel the rocket. And in the rocketry unit, we spent a lot of time outside, which I enjoyed. But I think what I disliked most about the changes for this year, like what was hard, were definitely the fact that we didn't get to get the full experience of field trips, and we didn't get to do any band, chorus, or orchestra, which was, this would be our last year for SES to get to do that. I think I'm most proud of adapting to the changes of this year, because we definitely, when the first 2 weeks of school we had to go online, we definitely adapted more to online learning, and then switching to person with the shields and masks. That was something I'm most proud of. And I liked being in the cohorts because we got to sometimes, like in previous years, we'd stick with friends who we already knew, and in the cohorts we got to spend time with people who might have been people we hadn't known so well. And in the cohorts, when we had to stick together, we I think had a stronger class bond. And something that I hope that we keep for the oncoming school year is the time outside. Like we got to learn outside for rocketry, science, math. Thank you.
Something I liked most about learning at SCS this year was probably getting to see all my friends and hanging out with all of them, because last year we missed out on seeing all of them. and it was fun just seeing them and how I got to go outside a lot more. The hardest thing this year was probably seeing through all the glass shields, staying 6 feet. But like when you're watching a movie or something and you're looking through, like still right now I have to look through 3 people's glass shields just to see their smartboard, and all 3 of those glass shields glare. So I have a really hard time seeing. And then if we like even turn off the lights, then it still gets pretty glary. The thing we missed out most on this year was probably a lot of field trips and like not a lot of learning, but last year I know we did miss a lot of learning. And because of that, a lot of people like fell off and are now having hard times. I'm most proud of this year is being here right now. And after the pandemic, I hope we get to keep going outside as much as we do, because in 6th grade we got like 3 periods every day, so it's really sweet. And I also hope we get to keep outside learning and like keep doing that. Thank you.
Okay, I really liked, being back full-time at school, it was really fun, but online it was really hard to learn, and I couldn't even focus, and I really didn't learn anything. It was like pointless in my opinion. The Google Meets were just like really bad in my opinion. And we also got to go outside way more often. And National Learning Outside Day, right? It was like a week ago or something. We were outside like the whole entire day, and we just like paired up in rocketry teams, and we and we just chose our patches and stuff, and it was just so much fun being in groups talking, and yeah, okay. So it was really difficult hearing people in the masks this year. So like if you're in the back, you can rarely hear the teacher, and you had to leave the AC on, and you have to have the windows open. And with the AC on like all the time, it's pretty loud, and if you're in the back, it's impossible. Like it's impossible. And it's also really difficult seeing through the glare. So if you're all the way in the back next to the AC, that is the worst spot ever. I was in there a few times. Trust me, it's pretty bad. I personally missed out on a bunch of field trips. We had the natural history, Museum of Natural History. That was going to be one of the best field trips. Same with last year, we missed out when we would go on a fishing field trip, beach day, which is really fun, and a field day last year. And this year, it's going to be way different. It's not going to be the same with all those field trips. I'm proud that this year we're back in school and doing pretty good, because at the beginning, when we were in, we really couldn't do that much. We couldn't like play with soccer or anything. We just had to stand there and talk. It was so boring, and we just like stood there. I hope that next year we get to get outside way more often and do the learning outside. It was just really fun learning outside. You can get fresh air and breathe it in, and we were like outside like 3 periods, and it was just really fun learning outside. Thank you.
I think I liked the most about this year was going outside a lot and also seeing people, because when we were in quarantine and when we were on distance learning, we couldn't really see people, talk to people in person. So I also like, going outside. What was really hard for learning this year was, I think, was definitely the masks and the blast shields, and definitely in the winter when the AC was going and we had the fan going, it was really cold in the room as well. And I think what I missed out this much on this year was going on field trips, because like Matthew said, we went on to the Natural
Museum of Natural History, and last year we went on we could have gone on the field trip, fishing trip, and what was I most proud of this year? I think I was most proud of getting my rocket to actually launch, because I thought it was just going to blow up on the launcher. After this pandemic, I think we should keep going outside a lot, and also using the things that we use, like Flipgrid, Google Classroom, and the other learning things. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you to your parents for bringing you. Mr. Rush, you have to plan a trip to the Museum of Natural History and speak to the teachers about getting outside a lot next year. I hope so. All right, I'm going to turn it over to you now. Thanks, everybody.
To the museum, it's outdoors.
There you go. And get exercise.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So I thought I was going to have to bribe and beg students to come to a board meeting to talk about the school year. Each student I asked was super excited, pumped, and I said, just be honest. Tell us what worked, tell what was good, tell us what was bad. We want to hear it. Students lived it more than we did as principals, teachers, board members, and so unsolicited, uncensored. So we're going to start with Jocelyn Hubbard. Come on down.
Hi. During distance learning, it was actually really hard for me to focus and concentrate, because for the first couple months of school, I was actually fully remote. So I was trying to learn from a computer, and I had to do it all on my own. And that was actually very difficult for me, because I wasn't actually in a classroom setting. And I didn't have a teacher there telling me, hey, you have to focus. No, I was all on my own, and I had to actually take in what was going on in the classroom, and it was really hard for me to focus and just pay attention and learn what was going on. But then when I finally came back, it was such a huge difference for me, because my grades were terrible during the first quarter. But then once I came back and I was actually able to be in a classroom setting, and I was able to see all my friends again and socialize with everybody, I was able to get my grades up, and that's something that I'm really proud of that I did for myself, and I ended up getting honor roll. So, yeah. And I'm also very thankful for the school as well, for giving us all these opportunities like sports, and being able to have watch plays and be able to do chorus and band. I just really enjoyed that, and I'm very thankful for you guys, so thank you. And that's about it, so thank you.
Thank you, Jocelyn. In 8th grade, Michael Dinacola.
Hello, I'm Michael Dinacola. I'm an 8th grader at Southold Junior High School. I am here to explain some of the things I liked and disliked this year. This year was different for everyone, even scary in ways. We as students need to learn how to be more independent and in ways grow up faster to be responsible for our own work and being on time. The first thing that I liked this year was being able to relax in the beginning of the year, went online, and in school prepared me for what college would be like. The second thing that I liked about this year was being able to use technology and complete all that and having to learn new ways on a computer. The final reason, even during a pandemic, I was able to see classmates and still interact. Things I didn't really like about this year was the number one reason is having to wear these masks 24/7 because of this pandemic. One thing that I hate is the shields at each desk. Those things gotta go. Another thing I disliked, I would rather use paper and pencil than a computer. Didn't have lockers this year, so we had to carry around our heavy backpacks. Missing sports was unfair and something that means a lot to me, so missing that was very hard. Living in a pandemic as a teen is not easy. It's not easy for anyone, having to worry about getting COVID, keeping our family safe. Going to school in a different way was hard, but as humans we adjust, and I believe this year as a community and had to learn and live in a different way. Hopefully in years to come we can go back onto a normal way of living. I'm proud to say as an 8th grader I pushed myself to succeed during a pandemic, and I look forward to be a better year as I enter high school. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Next up in 9th grade is Ava Rose.
Hi, I'm Ava Rose. I'm in 9th grade. I enjoyed many things and just like a few things from this year, and I'm just here to tell you about them. The first thing that I liked this year during distant learning was that it taught us that we had to be more self-reliant and independent, because there wasn't always a teacher there to tell you, oh, you need help or you need to push yourself harder. So you had to self-evaluate yourself and be like, oh, I need to study, or I need to, sorry. Another thing that I enjoyed this year was that even with the masks and the social distancing, that towards like the end of the school year, it felt more of how it was before COVID-19. Where like we got to see our friends and attend school every day and actually like have a teacher there to like help us if we needed it. Some of the things that I disliked about the school year was that it was challenging during distant learning, because we did have to teach ourselves when we weren't put in that situation before, so we had to step out of our comfort zones. And and it pushed us as students to step out of our comfort zones in a way. Another thing that I disliked was the shields. They were, especially if you're in the back, it's very challenging. And yeah, one thing that I appreciated this year was that a lot of the teachers tried their best to help us as best they could, knowing the situation that students were in, and that was very, very helpful. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Ava. Thank you. Next up in 10th grade, we have Ella Lors.
Hi, my name is Ella Lors, and I'm in 10th grade. And some of the good things that I found from distance learning were being able to talk to my teachers and ask them questions in person. I was able to socialize more, because when I was home, I wasn't getting as much socialization as I was when I was home. I was able to understand the curriculum better when I was in person. And the instant results that we got from online quizzes and tests really helped me to learn from my mistakes, and I was able to study what I was getting wrong faster. Having sports back also allowed me to have a mental break from the academics, and I was still able to be with my friends. And some of the cons were it's very hard to see the board through the camera on the Google Meets. And science labs in particular were hard because there was no hands-on learning. So we were given the data, and then having to analyze it was very hard. And now that we're studying for finals and we're prepping for our regions, getting our notes together is very hard because a lot of them are online. So having some online and some on paper is kind of difficult to manage. And I sit in the back for every class except one. And it is extremely hard seeing through the shields. I normally have to like peek over through the side because there's a very big glare down the shields, especially when you're looking through 8 people. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ella. In 11th grade, we have Christine Newer.
One thing that I want to start with is just, I think that this year we've been really fortunate, even though we have missed out on a lot. We've also gotten to do a lot, being back every day now, being able to play sports. I know the juniors and seniors have prom next week, and so even in a difficult year with a lot of challenges, we have been able to make it feel as normal as possible. I think that one thing for me that was really challenging was with the distance learning. Some classes just translated better online than others. I know for Spanish, trying to learn a new language and not being able to talk with your classmates, not being able to have those conversations, it felt really hard to try and learn new material and see where you were going wrong when it felt like you were never really practicing. And also, as everyone else has said, the shields were fairly annoying. But I think some classes, it's easier being in person, being online, it felt the same, but others, it really felt like you'd go home, you'd kind of miss a day and then have to come back and catch up on everything. I think, but definitely now at the end of the year, seeing where we are, seeing where we started at the year, it's been nice to see that growth and see that progress and know that the school's definitely doing everything that they can to make it feel as normal as possible, but just, I mean, at the end of the day, being online, being not in person every day for half the year, it's looking back on the rest of the year, it feels like we're kind of behind in a sense. I know studying for finals, studying for regents, doing projects, there's certainly classes where it feels like I'm definitely not as prepared as I was in years past, and it's no fault to the teachers, it's probably more fault to just the system and how, no matter like how hard you tried, you're not going to get the same connections that you would in a classroom. You're not going to be able to ask your teacher a question every day, see them in person, get that feedback that you would in a normal year.
Thank you, Christine. And finally, we have our 12th grade student and fellow Islander fan, Andrew Claussen.
For those who don't know me, I am Andrew Claussen. I am a senior at Southold High School. COVID-19 has affected my learning in many different ways. One way that COVID-19 has affected my learning was that I didn't get the chance to communicate with my teachers in a traditional way in classrooms which best suits me. During COVID-19 last spring, when I was in 11th grade, there were assignments that were posted in the morning and that I had to get them done by 2:30 in the afternoon. However, in 12th grade, it benefited me because I still had the chance to participate in the Google Meets each period and that I got my assignments done in a reasonable amount of time instead of rushing through. I have an IEP and still have my reading, speech, and after-school services. My teachers who provided these services were able to interact with me even on the days that I was not in school. This was positive. I've always been an organized, hardworking student, and those skills and qualities helped me to be successful during COVID-19 in school. Having done fully remote school last spring, I feel grateful for the hybrid cohorts that gave me the opportunity to be in the school all year, even in a decreased amount of days. Another positive impact of COVID-19 is the fact that I was able to get used to the technologies that I'll use in Suffolk Community College, where I'll be taking college courses for general studies. Using Zoom, Google Meets, and Google Classrooms in my classrooms will definitely help me in college. Additionally, through COVID-19, I've been able to hone skills that I'll be using in the real world. Lastly, COVID-19 affected my learning because it helped me gather up the support that I will need for the real world, such as my family and teachers. My family helped me by guiding me through the challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic and led me to become diligently, where I balanced my schedule, and my teachers helped me by being available to support me whenever I needed them. Thank you, and that's all.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you all of our students for coming down tonight, and also thank you for our parents and families that are here tonight, taking the time out of your own schedules. Thank you, guys.
So I just want to thank, Mrs. O'Neill and Mr. Rush for helping us set this up. And mostly I want to thank our students for coming in and their families for supporting them. It's been a difficult year. I've sat in the shields, and my eyes are much worse than yours because my glasses are much thicker and it's lousy. But the one thing I can tell that I saw all the time when I came to visit and walk around the elementary school, when I walked through the halls in the high school, is that people were working together to make the best out of whatever we were able to have this year. And in reality, when you walk around now, I see a lot of people laughing and smiling and running around in the nice weather and enjoying themselves. And although maybe it wasn't a normal, traditional year of learning, I think you learned a lot, so when you say maybe you didn't learn as much as you may have in past years for a Regents class, you learned extremely valuable lessons that have nothing to do with the Regents and could never be measured on a Regents. And hopefully you'll be able to take those with you for the rest of your lives, because the lessons that I've learned this year will be with me for the rest of my life. And, thank you for allowing me to learn them, and thank you for allowing me to be part of you guys learning them.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move along, and then at the end we'll say something. Okay, we've got some personnel things. We're going to get through this really quickly. Some employees leaving the district: Austin Hooks, resignation effective May 29th. Joanne Heine, retirement date was changed from April 15th to May 29th. And then we have 3 retirements effective this June 30th, 2021. Lori Cariello, Virginia Gilmore, and Teresa Rich. 2 retirements effective next June 30th, 2022 is Charles Turner and Felicity Turner. Lisa Molnar, part-time clerk typist, resignation effective May 4th, 2021. We have some substitute teachers, teacher aides, the garden coordinator, and election workers. An appointment, Sandra Colin, from office assistant to senior office assistant, effective June 1. And then we have the, let's do a motion for those, and then I'll let you speak about the tenure recommendations, and we'll vote on those. A motion to accept those personnel recommendations?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And then we have tenure recommendations, and Dr. Morrow is going to speak to them, and then we will vote at the end.
Sure. First, congratulations to our retirees, and thank you for your service, and good luck in the future. So we have a number of people that are listed for tenure today. We're going to start with Melissa Brubacher. Mrs. Brubacher serves as a special education teacher in the Southold High School. In this capacity, she regularly proves to be a team player. Her greatest asset is her ability to develop meaningful relationships with students, parents, and peers. Her tenure in Southold makes us better. Congratulations. We look forward to continued success. I'm gonna ask all of you to come down and do a walk by with the board at the end before they vote. After I speak of each of you, and just make one more comment when we're done that. So Joe Corrado is next. Mr. Corrado also serves as a special education teacher at Southold High School. In that position, he regularly manages to provide services to our students that allow them to meet with success. He's diligent in his delivery of instruction. It's done in a meaningful way that our students respond to. Most importantly, Joe develops strong relationships with his students. He's an asset to the Southold school community and will be for many years to come. And let's see, Jacqueline Viscoso will be up next. And, I told you I have bad eyes, and the glare doesn't help, but I can see you over there. Mrs. Viscoso is a special education teacher at Southold Elementary School. In this position, she works to educate some of the neediest students in the district. She's an adamant professional who is always working to become better at her craft. Mrs. Viscoso interacts in a kind, caring manner when working with her students. The structure she provides them, coupled with the relationships she has managed to develop, allows them to be successful. Her tenure on our faculty strengthens our team, and I'm sure that she will continue to impress in the future. Kenneth Tu is hiding in the back over there. Mr. Tu serves as a physics teacher at Southold High School. In his position, he is tasked with teaching some of the most complex concepts to our students. His ability to develop meaningful connections with his students allows him to do this in a manner that sometimes seems to be too easy. His infectious energy in the classroom rubs off on his students. He also gives of his own time to work with our robotics team, and it doesn't, seeing him in a classroom, it doesn't really seem like work because he enjoys it so much. He adds value to Southold and the lives of the students that he works with, and I look forward to even bigger and better things from him in the future. Evelyn Balcazar. Mrs. Balcazar serves as an English as a new language teacher at Southold High School. In this position, she has developed strong relationships with her students, regularly supporting and advocating for them. Her ability to work with and understand her students helps bridge the divide that students to our country frequently experience. She has proven to be an asset to them and to their families. Her presence in a classroom serves the students of Southold, and I'm confident that she will continue to grow as an educator while always focused on serving our students and doing the best with them. So before I ask you to come down, tenure is a great accomplishment, one that you should all be very proud of. It's also a huge responsibility. Being tenured in a district means that you're taken in and committed to work for that community and serve them for years to come. I know that, having met all of you and been able to sit with each of you and speak with you, seeing you in class with your kids, most importantly, that's a responsibility that you all take very seriously, and one that I know that you are going to absolutely, thrive in doing. So we expect much from you, and I have no doubt whatsoever that you will all absolutely come through. So congratulations. Do you want to vote first, and then if you guys could come down, please?
Is there a motion to accept the tenure recommendations?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. We can fist bump.
Why don't you start on that side and work your way down this way?
Congratulations.
You want to let him go?
Ellen, we're going to be like literally a minute. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, no, I meant if they want, okay.
Yep.
For the students that are here, your administrators will explain what tenure is tomorrow. But it's a good thing, and I think it's really cool for you guys that receive tenure to have students here, because all year we've had nobody here, so this is kind of nice. That brings us to new business.
Oh, we've had that.
Sorry. Well, you're not in your regular seat, so I didn't even know you were here.
We're there, Ange.
All right, Mrs. Tondo, you're going to get a proclamation next month, in June, when your last one graduates. Okay, new business. Anybody got any new business?
Nope.
Finance committee report.
No report.
Building committee report.
We did have a meeting. We interviewed 3 architectural firms, and we're close to making a decision, which, we'll
At the
discuss.
reorg meeting?
Yeah.
In July?
Yep.
Okay. There's a change order here for some electric work for Relly Corp. There's some additional work that was done, and then there was the general allowance credit, so the bottom line cost is $1674.03. Is there a motion to accept the change order?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Policy committee report?
We'll start up because we have stuff we're going to have to review for the start of next year. So probably July, August.
Okay. That brings us to our second hearing of visitors. At this time, you can address the board on any comments or topics or anything you want to talk about that has to do with school. Mrs. Tondo, you want to say anything? No, you have June yet. The meeting's before graduation. See what we put up with month after month after month.
You mean you're not coming after your kids graduate?
I'm gonna sit on this side. I think we should go back and see.
And your name and everything, because, you know.
Angela Tondo, parent, Southold. First of all, these kids are amazing, because I've been talking at this mic for years, and I'm usually one to faint and throw up, so you guys did amazing. Really, just thank you. Congratulations to Paulette and John for getting voted. You guys do a great job for our kids, and I hope that you continue to do so. You know, keep the building together, keep our teachers happy, our principals. You guys are great, and I really just appreciate you putting up with me for all these years. So thank you.
See you in June. Mrs. Tondo's been coming to board meetings almost as long as I've been coming to board meetings. So she needs to continue. Does anybody else care to address the board at this time? Mrs. McFarland? Okay. Okay. That brings us to our board member commentary, and we're going to start with our student reps. So you guys, we have a student representative that comes to our board meeting, and they share with us the thoughts of the high school, junior, senior high school students. So let's see what he has to say tonight. Matt?
It's a lot of pressure. But thank you guys all for coming. Congratulations to the teachers. But yes, it's kind of sad to say that school's coming to an end. This place has been really good to me. And I really wish I could have given more back to it as in the student council, but obviously with COVID, a lot of things got in the way. Not much, I mean, we have prom next week, and there's like a spirit day kind of thing in the works maybe that we're trying to get going, but yeah, I'm glad we could salvage the end of the year. Like everybody said, the end of the year was a lot better. People are a lot happier in person than online, and I hope it stays that way, and I hope next year we're back to completely normal. But thank you guys very much for keeping me around this year, and yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you for coming to our board meetings. You did a great job representing the student body, and you should be very proud of yourself. And on behalf of the board, we wish you well next year at Endicott. Mr. Latham.
First, I'd like to thank the taxpayers that passed our budget. Numbers were low, but the percentage was high on the pass. And most of the people that passed our budget or voted on our budget in the affirmative don't have children in the district. So when you guys are around your neighborhood and you see the neighbor, there's a good chance they voted for a budget that they don't directly take any advantage of. I think it was Michael, 8th grade, that said, as humans, we adjust. Just take that with you, because we all did adjust. I think we did it really well. I'm not going to steal John's thunder with his tagline, but we all did really well, and next year is going to be even better. So with that, I hope everybody has a great summer.
Dr. Crean.
Congratulations to the teachers. It's always wonderful, to see students. And, I used to be terrified to talk in front of people. So, these young students who can get up and speak in front of a crowd to a board, that's wonderful. That'll serve you well. Southold is a special place. There's my tagline. I think the last time the budget was not passed was in the 70s. And there was some real rough times, 10%. I mean, now it's been a little more stable. So this community really supports their young people, supports this school. I mean, look at this place. Look at what we have here. This is better than a lot of college campuses. The library, the field, 26, 28 acres, just wonderful. I'm so proud to be part of Southold. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. Tobin.
Like John and Scott said, thank you to the taxpayers for passing the budget. Congratulations to all the teachers who received their tenure. It is an honor, like Mr. Morrow said, but a big responsibility. And kudos to these students who just had the guts to stand up in front of all these people and express themselves. It's It's not an easy thing to do, so you should be proud of yourselves, and your parents, too.
Mrs. Boucher.
Like everybody else, thank you to the community for supporting our budget. Our administrators work very hard on trying to keep it affordable, as well as making sure that our students and our community benefit from the education we give to the students. Additionally, I would like to thank all of those who are retiring for their service to our district. We've known them for many years, and they've given us a lot of good years, and I wish them all well. To the tenured teachers that were newly tenured today, thank you for caring about our children enough to be here now long-term, and hopefully one day somebody will be saying thank you for your 30 years of service here in Southold. Students that spoke today, thank you for your honesty. It was interesting to hear the things that were tough and the things that were good and bad about this year. It's been hard to watch, not knowing how you guys were handling it. And just so you know, administrators, I agree with all the children. The one thing we should definitely keep is lots of outside time as we go forward. Mrs. Tondo, thank you for a positive voice over all these years. I've been on both sides of the table, and I know how hard that is, so thank you. And Matt, thank you for working so hard for your fellow students this year. It was a tough year to be here, trying to be positive and whatnot, and you've done a really great job, so thanks for that. And my fellow board members and administration, thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you this year, like always. That's it. Thank you.
Another month, remember. All right, most of what not be here next month. When you go last, most of what you have to say has already been taken. But I do want to point out something that wasn't pointed out this evening, and I want to give a round of applause to the Southold Mattituck Greenport ROTC program, who I understand are third most outstanding unit in the world, and that's quite an accomplishment. That's like the whole world, so kudos to them. And maybe somebody can come next month and tell us about it. We like having company with us, but that's quite an honor, and although they continue to receive awards and honors, it's just an amazing program that the three districts work on together, and it's really, and I think Major would be the first one to say it, it's about the cadets and their families that make it work, as well as Major and Senior Chief and NC1. So congratulations to them. I want to thank the community as well for passing our budget. Again, as they said, although the turnout was low, an 81% approval is a good thing. We must be doing something right. And by the sounds of it tonight, we're doing a whole lot right, because you students are amazing. Thank you for coming. And it's so nice when Mr. Rush said that he didn't have to beat the doors to get junior, senior high school kids to come to a board meeting and speak at a board meeting. We don't really like coming here and speaking month after month. So please come back and share with us your thoughts and your ideas. Matt has done an amazing job this year, as have students for the past probably 12 years that we've had reps on the board. But don't be afraid to come yourselves as students. We love to hear from you. That's what we're here for. And we're so excited tonight to have students here in the audience, because that's kind of why all of us are here. That's why the administrators are here. That's why everybody is here. I want to congratulate the spring sports teams. I know they're winding down. I think we have some good stuff going on out there on the fields. I know it's been a rough year for student athletes, but man, kudos to the athletic department, because you pulled it together and you did a year worth of sports in 3.5 months. So good for you. And you heard it from the students, how important it was for them to get out there. Echo what Judy says about outside. The one thing that I think every student from the elementary to the high school was, this outside learning is something that is here to stay. So we pick up the good things that happened during this pandemic, and you all pointed out positive things, which is so, so important. As bad as it was here in our little Southold, I think it was a lot worse in a lot of other places. And for probably whatever month we are into this, I want to thank again our administrators, our custodial staff, everybody that works in the school district that got us open, that got us to where we are on May 26th, because without them, shields are not as bad as the shields and the masks and all that are. These people have worked endlessly from last April? March really, April, continuously to get the doors open, not for them, not for us, not even for you parents or teachers, really for you students. So when you see somebody that works in the district, give them a thank you. I know how much it means to them because they've told us how much it means to them. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for coming. Please continue to come. Please support your school and your community. And tenured teachers, thank you. Judy and I are alumni from Southold. We know, although Dr. Crean coined it's a special place, we all know what a special place it is, or else we wouldn't be here, and we're all really fortunate to be part of the school district. And thank you for coming to our school district and wanting to be tenured teachers in our district. I think I got my list because everybody's still. Oh, the one thing I wanted to mention about the elementary school that I thought of when you guys were talking, I was privileged enough, I think maybe Judy's kids too, that my children's handprints are up there when you walk in. And every time I walk in there, I look there, and I still look for their handprints. And it's with great pride that I see my children's handprints in that building. So thanks for all that you do. Yeah, because they're grown-ups now with kids of their own, which is really kind of scary. Thank you again. Is there a motion to adjourn? Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's it. Oh, my goodness.